Going on, kings and queens of this wonderful wonderland that we call YouTube. Now today comes an unscheduled video, and one that is going to be kind of difficult for me to do and or get through. I wish I didn't have to make a video like this. I don't like making videos like this, but unfortunately I have some bad news. Today the world lost another one of its funny men, and I lost another one of my personal heroes. Of course, who I'm talking about is none other than Jerome Silberman, better known to you and the rest of the world most likely as the great Gene Wilder. If I had to pick two comedians that have defined me or captivated me the most in my life, I would have to say one is of course Robin Williams, and the other would be Gene Wilder. Right off the bat, when I think of Gene Wilder, I have to say that I feel extremely fortunate. And I feel fortunate because I am probably one of the few people from my generation who know who Gene Wilder is. And the reason for that would be that I, in being raised by my grandparents, I got to get a sneak peek into some, music and movies and actors and all those things that kids my age wouldn't normally be able to dive into, and I'm extremely thankful for that, because one of the characters that I became familiar with is of course Gene Wilder. I grew up watching movies like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and Young Frankenstein, and now that I've gotten a little bit older, I can enjoy Blazing Saddles and See No Evil, Hear No Evil with Richard Pryor, and the list of great movies by Gene Wilder goes on and on. So yeah, Gene Wilder was somebody that I can say I deeply respected and deeply admired, not only for his comedic presence in front of a camera, but also kind of his thinking process and his philosophies, because I feel a lot about show business or entertainment the way that he did. Gene Wilder went on record to say one time that when it comes to show business, he loves show and hates the business. He loves to entertain, but of course hates all the crap that has to go on to get him there. Um, and I couldn't agree more. I really, really hate all the business end of the things that I do, but at the end of the day, if I could sit here in front of the camera with you guys all day long, every day, there's nothing in the world that I would rather do. I totally would do it. So I admired him for that. I also admired him because he's a writer, like me. He spent a lot of his retired days, his older days, writing instead of acting. He he didn't do a whole lot in front of the camera, but he did a lot behind it, which is something as a writer myself I can also respect and admire. With that being said, as sad as I am to say that one of my heroes, another one of my heroes, is gone, I can also say it with a little bit of a sense of pride, being that the majority of my heroes have gone way too early as a result of either drug overdose or suicide or, various situations that would cause them to leave us too early. Gene is a different case because he died at the age of 83. Um, and he lived a full life. He had a very successful career. Um, a peaceful retirement life after that, for the most part. And he just went out like everybody else. It is unfortunate that he died due to complications from Alzheimer's, but at the end of the day, he went out like a normal person, which I can't really speak for him, but I can probably, guess he went out the way he wanted. Because, uh, you know, in the experience that I've had watching my favorite comedians and actors and all that, is that they love what they do, but past a certain point it becomes too much. And all they want to do is get away from the cameras, get away from the people, and just be normal again. Um, and a lot of them have very public lives up until the day they die. Gene was fortunate enough to have his time in the limelight, have his time in the sun, and then go out on his own terms, which I think is very commendable. So I'm looking at today with a sense of pride and a smile on my face because God gave us Gene Wilder at his fullest. He lived to be old and gray and live the way that I think everybody on the planet wants to live. And it's never easy to talk about or to accept the fact, one of your heroes is gone, but I'm at peace with it because of his age and because of the life he led uh, up to the point today when he died in his home. So I guess in closing, ladies and gentlemen, I would ask you join me, if you haven't already, in watching some Gene Wilder movies, whether it be Young Frankenstein or Willy Wonka, and celebrate the life of a very decorated, very legendary comedian. But also, I want to talk to my generation and the generations to come. We are getting to the age where if you haven't already had kids, you're going to, um, at some point in your life. And I think it's important for us as parents to do what my grandparents did, and excuse me, and to relive guys like Gene Wilder, guys that if it wasn't for people sharing with the new generation, reliving movies and things of that nature, these are guys that would disappear, and nobody would remember if it wasn't for fans and things keeping them alive, which is exactly how my grandparents instilled Gene Wilder in me. Was, you know, they were fans of Gene Wilder and they wanted to share that with me, and I'm so glad they did. So I would ask that you do that with your kids or your nieces or your nephews or anybody. Just just share Gene, so this talented legend in the Hollywood world would not be forgotten. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I have some scheduled videos to return to. So until next time, as always, I salute you, and remember, we're all mad here.